Today I was listening to Andy Purcell's podcast during the gym, and I think he had a Q and A episode where there was one of the questions was about how to hire better people. And in the way that he answered, a lot of the things that he talked about was about creating the culture that your ideal employees will be drawn to, or they might connect with, or they might feel really aligned with it. And it actually made me think of um, the standards and personal standards, because he said that for you to attract those people or even build that culture, you have to be living that. And that, as I was leaving the gym, I was thinking about, or like I had this idea that having or raising your standards isn't enough. You have to be living them. And this is something that I have seen a lot, even like with some of my coaching clients, where, and even myself, where it's like you think you have high standards and you're not meeting them, which I have nothing against high standards, but it's we focus on how far we are from from that high standard, or why we are not there, instead of focusing on how can I actually live it. What is it that I actually need to be doing, or action steps I need to be taking, or how I can actually embody those standards, because that's where the real change will happen. Also, that's where you will be living those standards. It's not just by thinking about it or having it. It's about living it and having it as your reality. And then once you reach, and it's not just that you have to be there, it's your aspiration to be there, being backed up with action, which it takes time for us to get from one level to the next. But then if we now sit at the level that we are and we think about the next level, or we aspire or dream to be there, but we don't back it up with action, it's likely not going to take us anywhere. And we're actually going to feel worse, because that gap between where we want to be and where we are, or the standard that we have and the standard that we are currently applying in our lives, the gap becomes bigger, which can make us feel worse. So it it's just a thought that I had today that I felt like sharing, and something about it that clicked in my mind, where it was that thought, and I wrote it down in my notes, that it's not having and or raising standards isn't enough. You need to be living them. So I guess one thing that you could think on is, well, one would be, what are my standards? Or what does my current life right now, how does my current life right now reflect my standards? Because those are your standards. The way you live right now, the way you are right now, that's the standard that you have set for yourself, because that's where you are. Then you can think on, what is it that I want to be? And what would somebody who has those standards already, what are they doing? How are they living? How are they making their decisions? And then take that and do that.